We are here with Emily O'Brien from Comeback Snacks. Thank you so much for finally putting this together and coming down to Wainfleet.
You're so welcome.
We've been trying to do this for a while. We just rocked out a couple pizza reviews at Rose City Pizza. That was a lot of fun.
Not just the pizza reviews. We also did a focaccia review.
Let's go. Yes. Rose City Pizza Welland is known for their focaccia, and we rocked it. We did 2 pizzas, cheese pep, Hawaiian, and a focaccia. And yeah, I'm not sure yet when we're going to post everything. That might have been posted already. It might not be yet, but we're here to talk about you and what you've got going on with your business. So I'm going to do a quick how I found you.
All right.
So I found you on Instagram, and you popped up one day. I seen you, popcorn, and you really leaning into your story of how you got into some trouble, and now you got a business going. You've got a popcorn business right here, Comeback Snacks.
That's
I'll
it.
bring it over. I can't wait to try it.
Yep.
And I must say that I give love it. I give you a ton of credit for leaning into getting in trouble and then turning it into a business and putting it all out there.
Well, thank you so much. And I love what you've done with the logo here. You've really made me feel quite at home. So I like it.
I like it. So I think I'm sure you've told the story a bajillion times about what had happened, but I'd love to hear, how Comeback Snacks came about.
Of course. Yeah. So it was, I guess, it was started when I was incarcerated, but before I go into the incarceration, I can kind of go back to how I ended up incarcerated in the first place. Because like most people, I didn't predict my life would ever be there. I was always a very happy kid. I was always very adventurous. I always had jobs. I was an honor roll student. And obviously had some hiccups in high school, but like who doesn't,
Totally.
Please,
Yeah.
please. I'd be boring if I didn't. So, I went to the University of Guelph, and I came back to Toronto after an internship. I worked for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yeah, as part of my degree. So I came back.
What did you study at Guelph? Sorry.
International development.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I loved it though. I loved it so much. And I came back, and of course, like with a lot of degrees, especially the arts degrees, you don't just get a job right away. You have to have like experience. And so it's like, I worked for a couple marketing companies, and then I got a job with Pitney Bowes as an outside salesperson. And then throughout my like travels after I was working these jobs, people were like, Emily, you're a really good storyteller, because I would tell the stories of my volunteer trips, my internship and all these like fun jobs that I had. And so they actually encouraged me to start my own company. And I started a social media agency, like really small, just boutique. It was just me and one other person. But I was able to like do pretty well in the first couple of years that I started. But while this was going on.
When was this roughly? What year?
2012, 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while this was kind of going on, things were actually going wrong in my personal life. My parents like split up, and it was awful. And I know everyone can like kind of mock me or whatever and say, "Oh, like we were old enough." But at the end of the day, when you see people in pain, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And sometimes we're just not equipped to deal with the things that we never expected, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. And so, and I'm going to be like really upfront here. Like I drank before, and did I do Molly and stuff in high school? Yes. Did I do some Molly in university? Yes. I still graduated with honors, and like I knew that wasn't something I wanted to do going forward. But then when my parents and when this whole thing happened with my family, I kind of went from like celebrating to medicating, let's say. And I knew it wasn't it, but this was with cocaine and alcohol. But I was also living in Toronto in a neighborhood that was very accepting of these things. And, I lived in a creative arts neighborhood. So it never looked like anything was really wrong. Like it was just, you're just going to parties, going out and going to events. And
Part of the culture.
It was very normalized.
Yeah.
So it was very easy to kind of hide that something wasn't going well. And I met someone through my work who I thought was sober. Like he told me that he was sober, and I got to know him over the course of like 7 to 8 months. And some headlines say, oh, he was my boyfriend. At the end of the day, he was not my boyfriend. He was a good friend of mine. We didn't have any physical relationship at all. Mm-hmm. Did I like spending time with him? Yeah, I did, because I could trust him. And he would help me with like really simple things like walking my dog. And I felt safe going on a trip with him. So he's like, do you want to go on like a sober trip? And I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. And 3 days into the trip.
Where did you go?
St. Lucia.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 days into the trip, I had to get into the car with him, and he completely changed personalities. And that's when I found out I was there to work, and it wasn't all there for fun and games. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't see that coming.
Didn't see that coming.
Holy. So then shit went down.
I just wanted to go home. I found out when he booked the tickets, when he asked for my passport, he actually sent it to these people down there that he owed money to. There's going to be so many elements of the story like that. Certain ones I know are true from the investigation, but then half of what he told me, I'll still never really know if it was true or not. Right. So,
yeah.
So that landed me 4 years in federal prison.
Holy 4 years?
Yes.
Did you have to serve all that time?
I mean, yeah, you serve every day, David, just in different forms of security.
Right.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
So you got it caught up in the mix.
Yeah.
You get sentenced to 4 years.
Yeah.
That's rough all around. We kind of just touched on it a little bit while hanging out doing pizza reviews, but I'm sure that's tough on yourself, tough on the fam, tough on like a lot. And
it was extremely embarrassing for my family. You know, I was very mad. I felt like betrayed by this person. I was, and I couldn't even talk about the case when it was happening. So it was like I was muzzled and I wasn't supposed to say anything. And so that was when the worst time was. That was when I was like really depressed because I was on house arrest. I had to give up my dog. I had to move back in with my mom, who I love. But again, you're dealing with a situation that is very tumultuous and unknown. It's the unknown. We didn't know what was going on, except we just kept getting all these legal bills and drained my savings. And, they obviously weren't in the best place, but they did come together for me. And so I knew that like this was something that I needed to turn into something really good.
And you have been, which is amazing.
Yeah. But it wasn't immediately, of course. Sometimes you have to roll around in the dirt and just feel like garbage because my actions did cause a lot of pain to people, and there were some things that I couldn't have controlled, and then maybe there's some things that I could have, like my issues with the substances. But again, it's more about taking accountability of your life going forward.
Totally. Yeah. So that goes down, and when does Comeback Snacks come into the picture?
Comeback Snacks came into the picture because when I was on house arrest, so kind of awaiting my demise or whatever you want to call it. I was awaiting like what was going to come next. And I was actually ready for it. I knew that this happened to me for a reason. And I knew that I could do something really good with it because my stubbornness kind of kicked in because there's some people that were like, oh, you should have seen this coming, just like the classic people. But I was like, I'm going to use this rebelliousness and be like, watch me. It's not going to happen.
Let's go.
And so I got to prison and I met so many other people just like me, just messed up or were embarrassed, and like we were all in that same boat. We might have had different crimes. A lot of the people I met in there were actually in there for the same charge, which is importing, because the jail that I was at was the closest one to the airport. So there were a higher number of people there for that charge. But I was like, okay, like how do we move forward from this? And we knew that employment was going to be a hard thing because even though you're done your time, we all know that you're like socially castrated, professionally castrated, like even when you're done your time.
Yep.
And so I was like, what is the point of all this? Like, what is the point of this whole thing happening to me, happening to people in here? What is the point of prisons and the costs that they have? And what's the point of unnecessary suffering of even like the victims of drug abuse, the drugs that I was trying to bring into the country? Like, what is the point of all this if like I can't do something good with it and realize that, it was a shitty situation, but it can be rectified. And I always believed in redemption, but it's obviously not a free ticket. So when I was in Kitchener in Grand Valley Prison, where it was medium security because I had no priors and I wasn't violent. So I lived in a house with 10 other people and we cooked all of our own food. So popcorn was one of those prison foods that we all kind of chatted over, and so I was like, maybe I can start a popcorn company with cool flavors and a unique, bold flavors and a bold mission, and that's to support second chances.
Wow.
It's a mouthful, I know. Crunch.
It's not just a mouthful. It's amazing that you are that cognizant going through things, looking at the bigger picture, because I can only imagine some people when they get put in that situation, it makes it way harder to come back. Because like you said, when you do come back, you are a lot of people, it's hard to get a job. I know people that can't volunteer anywhere.
Yeah.
Because they've gotten in trouble at some point in their life.
Yeah.
It limits a lot.
And it also, like, when there's people that need the help, like volunteers, for example, when I was in prison, we loved having the volunteers, right? And sometimes the best volunteers can be people with lived experience.
Totally.
But if you have a record, you probably can't really go into the prisons. You know what I mean? So it's, and then there's people that need help that are also suffering because of something else. So
yeah, there's a lot of limitations. I love how, not just turning it even more entrepreneurial, but also that you lean into what happened. Because like we were talking about before a little bit, some people don't do that. They're for any reasons. They don't broadcast their past, if you want to call it skeletons. And I think it's very admirable. I'm sure you hear it all the time, but it's very admirable that you lean into it and you're for sure learning from your mistakes, but also helping others, which I think it's amazing. Like,
well, thank you.
I'm not the first person to say it. Like, you're living this, but from everything I've been around and seen, I think it's super remarkable, and I think it's awesome. And I want to hear a little bit more too.
Sure.
Like, so you decided popcorn. So then how did it actually start? You had the idea, you're chomping popcorn with some friends, passing the time.
Yeah. And like, we would also make birthday cakes and stuff, and people would make their favorite meals from home. Personally, I always loved popcorn myself, because one of the reasons that I also drank into drugs, because I struggled with an eating disorder for a long time. So I knew that going back into prison was going to be stressful. And I was like, I'm not going to go back into this. Right. So it was also a way of coping and healing my relationship with food, but also what had happened in this situation. Yeah. There's like another whole other side to it.
Do you mind me asking what kind of eating disorder?
Yeah. I had anorexia and then bulimia for like on and off for 10 years.
Interesting. So that definitely doesn't help you getting all the nutrition you need.
No.
That's for sure. Yeah. Interesting.
No, but I was bound and determined to not also let that not conquer me and reconquer me.
You are resilient, and I like it.
Oh, I had no other way. I had no other choice. Like, that was the way that it was going to be. And that's why I also think like true freedom is being able to share your story and people know who you are. Like, if I just hid this inside, number one, like, I wouldn't be where I am now. And number two, people would try. Unfortunately, we live in a world where people like want to take you down, and they want to go into like like you said, like those past things and try to like ruin something that you have or cancel you. And I'm like, no one's going to cancel me, because I'm going to cancel myself first and do something good with it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Get ahead of it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So you started making popcorn in there, and then like, how did it, like your first sales, or like, how did you do packaging? Like, what was the beginning?
So the beginning was actually inside prison.
Okay. While you're talking about it, I have to try it.
Crack it up. You do need some dessert after that.
After
savory lunches.
all the pizza. I love it. Okay. So before you go on that, what flavor am I opening up here? What's going on with this one?
That one is salted chocolate caramel. So that's our top selling flavor.
Okay.
But I brought you my favorite. That's our new packaging. It was 3 years in the making. It's finally out. So there you go.
Okay.
Even like something so simple as a bag can take so long, because you're working with a lot of different people. You're working with designers. You're working with the printers. Ours happens to be overseas. So it's like, okay, in order to make the best looking bag of popcorn possible at a rate that we can still make margins on, there are so many moving parts and things that can happen.
Amazing. I love the extra salt on there.
Oh,
I'm huge on the salt. This one's awesome. I love it. And what's amazing about this too is there's no calories. That's me endorsing it, not you. There's a couple, but it's worth it.
Yeah. So in the beginning, we had like our savory line. Oh, it's okay. That's all for you. But now we realized that when we want to grow, it was harder to make the savory like at scale. We're finally going to be relaunching our savory at scale. But the caramel, like we found our co-manufacturer now because we couldn't keep up with our own kitchen. So it's very, it's almost like 90% of companies do this. You work with a manufacturer that already exists, and you they have your recipes, and you have these agreements, and then they actually produce it for you with your help, obviously, but it's a stage in growth. So we have a manufacturing partner in Mississauga, and then our new one is going to be in New Brunswick. So for our savory line 2.0, so.
Is that going to be lobster or what's?
No, no, but you'll see that's coming out this year. So
I like it. This is fantastic. I like the chocolate. It's nice, sweet and salty. Like It's doesn't taste like, but same idea as the Hawaiian pizza, the sweet and salty. I love it.
Yeah.
The combination gets me.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to you. You're starting up.
Yeah.
How did you package your first one? How did you sell your first one? How did you actually take the idea to making it happen?
So after prison, I got DAPE roll, which is, a form of release that's still supervised. And I lived in a halfway house, and anyone can get this as long as you don't fuck around in prison. Like, don't fuck around, you're going to get your DAPE roll. And so I got that. And so I started making popcorn in the halfway house kitchen and going to events. So, but when you're on DAPE roll, you have to get like permission slips to literally go everywhere. You have to call as soon as you get there. So it's a lot of work a lot of people don't even leave the house because they're like, it's too much work. But I went out to networking events. I worked at a gym. My first job was actually not because, entrepreneurship is so risky. You also need to, I needed to have an income from an actual employer.
Yeah.
Because surprise, surprise, they don't really trust all of the entrepreneurs coming out of prison.
Come on, really? It's not the most trustworthy people coming out of prison? I love it. I'm going to eat this and then I'm going to stop because I don't want to be crunching the whole time, but it's so good. As soon as we're done this, I'm going to finish that bag.
Okay. So good, it's criminal. That's our slogan.
True story.
Don't you know?
True story.
So that's kind of when I first started making my first sales, but I started building momentum when I was still inside prison, and this is how I did it. I had a friend on the outside who's like now my business partner, who would take articles that I wrote. We had this mock website, and I knew that I was going to do this. But how I built up momentum was I had an email, like, what are those things called on the website? I'm like, my brain's
landing
page with a pop-up. This is, we want to know more about Emily's journey, son. So we began to build our email list and subscribers with updates about when I was coming out. Talking about and I wrote articles about what I was doing in prison. And then as soon as I got out, I was on I did an article with the Hamilton Spectator, which then got shared on the Toronto Star. And then I started being on morning shows like Vice Media, CBC, CTV. And this was the beginning. And people really took onto it. Like, of course, there's always going to be shit talkers, but like, come out of prison, you're kind of just used to being screamed at all the time. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Except these people literally mean nothing to you.
Yeah, totally.
So, that was kind of how it started. And then I started being asked to go to events. I would speak at schools because I really wanted to practice my craft, and then they'd buy popcorn along with, the speaking.
Smart.
Yeah.
So do schools carry your popcorn as well?
Some universities do. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. These ones, no, because it's not nut free and it's more of an expensive product. But I did sometime when I was first making it by hand, I'd do 100 bags of butter salt because I had 2 little poppers. And then I did a newspaper article, and someone just randomly bought me, a stranger who I didn't know, bought me a bigger popper.
Come on.
My mom's house literally was like popcorn palace.
I love
it. That's what I called it. It's popcorn palace.
I love it. That is pretty interesting. From there, I love how that you were embracing it from the get-go. You started a newsletter from prison. I don't think everybody's doing that from prison. You're clearly ambitious.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that as an investment. I began to because by the time I spent all the money on legal fees, and don't get me wrong, right away I was pissed. I didn't want to go to prison. I spent a year and a half in that phase. So it wasn't just it's going to be great. Absolutely not. I spent a year and a half in absolute hell, mental anguish, all that.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to prison, I was ready, and I knew that I almost documented every single journey,
amazing.
Every single day of what happened in there. And I made friends with all the volunteers and people and learned different stories. And I realized how lucky I was. People came to visit me, and I know my family was very supportive, even though I put them through fucking hell.
Yeah.
But I think they knew at this point, they could see it in me, in my actions, in the way that I was behaving, that I was going to do something good with this. And I think they were so excited to see that the Emily with the potential that they always knew that I had.
Coming out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to hit rock bottom or close to it to come out of there.
Yeah.
But that's so amazing. I'm still trying to picture going through all of that, and you going from I love how you had the social media background, which gave you enough cognizance to start telling the story so early, because a lot of people don't tell their story, especially in today's age, until after they've got there. and you took people along for the journey, which I think is amazing. Like that's really good self-awareness. So I love that you did that. I love that you're still doing it.
Yeah.
Because the journey's not over.
No, every day is just so different.
Yeah, like
bumping.
Yeah, I love it. So
different kind of bumps.
Yeah, no doubt. So you started by going to trade shows. Is that it?
I started just by going to community events because trade shows are super expensive, right?
Okay, so community events.
Yeah. And then I would sell into local stores, but because I couldn't have the product that I had for the first year and a half, the shelf life was only like 6 weeks. I had to work with local stores and go to events. And then when COVID happened, I actually was able to find a manufacturer where I was able to extend that shelf life. And my business actually grew during COVID because the irony of all this is I was an essential business when everyone else, a lot of people weren't. So they were inside and I was delivering this popcorn. The girl that's on parole that was in prison was actually the one that was allowed out. And, but then I would turn these like deliveries, the handheld deliveries into like messages and be like, hey, I was in prison. And that's why a lot of people ordered from me. It was like, hey, we'd love to meet you. And so they'd order the popcorn, but they also just like wanted to hear my advice on like how I got through prison. And obviously, you know, it's a different kind of prison, but it's still, people experience the same anxieties and they have kids and
totally,
you know, so I was able to, I didn't even know that would happen, but it was like an accidental,
it's a byproduct of everything. And it's amazing. So you do like today you had a talk somewhere. What was the one that, well, by now it'll not be today, but
yeah, it was for the Rotary in Dundas, Ontario. So it was actually a friend of mine, this woman that used to live on my street when I was a kid, you know, and it's so crazy how so many people that knew about me growing up now know about this story and have known about it. And so I actually spoke to people that were involved in the Rotary in Dundas, Ontario. And this one was shorter, but it was like a breakfast club, right? You know, so it was nice.
So when you do your talks, what part do you focus on more? We've already covered, I'm guessing, a lot of it, but what's your spin on it? I'm guessing,
it depends who the client is. Like if it's, like I've done talks for like Sobeys and so it's like sometimes that's like working in the food business, right?
Yeah.
And like different ways to pursue entrepreneurship and different like hacks that I've learned along the way. Sometimes it'll be all about marketing. You know, I started a business with no money from prison where people told me no one was going to buy popcorn from someone that was in prison.
Totally.
And it's just been the complete opposite.
It's amazing.
So it really depends. I've done talks for like Toronto Transportation Commission and who else? The Canadian Home Builders Association. I did one for them out in Victoria, and they asked me to talk specifically on like there is a huge labor shortage in the home builders market, so they're like talk to us more about hiring people that have been incarcerated or for second chance hiring. Because they wanted.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I talked all about that.
Clearly, you believe in rehabilitation.
Yes.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Because just to go on that a little bit, I don't know statistics or anything on it, but I'm sure that a lot of people that go to prison don't, and I'm not saying percent, a lot of people go to prison and have a hard time getting their life straight because like we talked about the limitations after, maybe they just, you know, don't get that ambition or whatever. So the prison system is set up definitely to give the opportunity for rehabilitation, but I don't know how successful it is or not, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Like what do you think maybe are some factors to help people rehabilitate?
I think number one is you need to have like motivation. My motivation actually was reading success stories of people all around the world that had been in prison and having that as my ammo. And I think number two is I also educated myself on like the growing, like the business. So like I was feeling confident in my ability to start Comeback Snacks, but I also know that like my family were huge supports of mine. Like I really recognized that and they were there for me. And I wanted to do better for them. And so a lot of people don't have a family or they are estranged from them, or there's support. Addiction, or there's so much abuse. And I didn't have any kind of abuse in my family. Like I grew up in a really wonderful household, which makes people be like, well, what was your excuse? And that was just means that anyone can go through sadness and pain and struggle. And yeah, exactly. Like substance use knows no bounds. Anyone can fall into it.
There's no socioeconomic boundaries to that. There's no geographical. There's none of it. It can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you hear that somebody's been arrested or to jail or anything, I'm guessing you don't have the same perception that maybe a lot of the public do. Because a lot of the public, not everyone, when they hear that, they will label somebody a criminal and that they're bad. I'm guessing that's not an assumption to you.
No, it's not. Everything is like a case-by-case basis. But I also think like there's certain people like on Wall Street that commit crimes all the time that are the fraud and they do like Bernie Madoff. Like I think that what he did is much different to like someone that brings drugs over the border or like someone that steals to feed themselves. Totally. You know what I mean? Right. So totally. And then again, there's also like a lot of mental illness, right? A lot of mental illness where people with mental illness, I don't think should be inside prisons. Like there are people that like, you know, commit crimes and like, and I'm not an expert on mental, you know what I mean? No, but it's just,
we're just talking through our life experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I have an appreciation for that because with my whole life too, I don't, just because somebody has been to prison or not, I don't consider them a criminal. I don't think that they're a bad person. I mean, you let their actions and words speak for themselves when you interact with them. Yeah. Right? So, yeah, I think that's a good thing because unfortunately, I think a lot of people don't have that perception. And yeah, you're changing that for sure. You're having an impact on that by showing people that you can come back and this is possible, which is nice because I think some criminals get a bad rep.
Yeah. When you break
right?
Sure.
They get painted with the brush, which is completely understandable. But I love how you're showing that rehabilitation exists and it's a good thing and it can make you better. So like, I love it.
Good.
It's like, I love that you've embraced it and you're leaning into it. It's amazing. I think it's awesome how you're speaking to people about it. Like it's all fantastic.
Well, thank you. And again, like I said, it's true freedom for me. It's like this journey has brought me places I never would have been if I didn't, do something open about it. And yeah, like it's so great. And even with Come Back Snacks, like I'm meeting people from so many different walks of life. And, some people I can't help because, I don't have experience in those things. So I don't want to give someone bad or advice that could be like, you know what I mean? It's, you still have to be careful in like what you say and
totally.
But yeah.
So where do you see yourself going with all of this?
Honestly, like one of the things my dad told me, and I say this like a lot, as often as I can, is, don't like wish your life away. And so sometimes I don't know where I'm going to be. I just know it's going to be somewhere good.
I like it.
I definitely want to travel around more and visit different parts of the world and people that, might be in trouble in different parts of the world. For sure, like different prisons and everything, even just across Canada. And eventually I also want to have, this is like one of my big goals, but it's to have like a comeback capital fund and invest in businesses that are started by people with records, because often it's difficult to get a loan or, you know what I mean? You can't even get grants. I remember when I was coming out, there was a couple organizations that were like, apply for this grant. And then when it came down to the nitty gritty, they actually had to withdraw it because I had a record. So I spent, which made no sense. So it's just like bureaucratic bullshit.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it before. I have a friend, a girl that I went to high school with, who she's my age. So I'm much older than you. But she recently got herself into trouble. She got into the mix of something. Right now I'm pretty sure she's serving her house arrest now. It's not that long. But she's in that dark time where she doesn't know what's going to happen. And she's got kids. I feel so bad. Her one daughter suffers from seizures all the time. Oh my God, yeah. And she's trying to figure out what to do. And I know I've talked to her, not in length, but had good conversations, trying to help her stay positive and keep the course, because she's a great person. I've known her 30 years or something. And for her to get into some trouble, to me, like,
you're like probably like, are you okay?
Yeah. Like I don't even know the full story, and I don't even really care because I don't even know what happened, and it doesn't matter because she's my friend and I support her and I want her to see her through it. And yeah, I just briefly mentioned it before. She tried to reach out. I don't know how. So I'm hoping to connect you somehow after, so that I don't know, just so the connection's at least there. But I don't even know what she's looking for other than maybe just sometimes, to talk.
Yeah. Right. And that's like what I try to do all the time. And that's why I try to like connect people to as many different resources as I can. Cause there really is power and connection, and people that have gone through it is a traumatic experience going through it. And a lot of times people have been through so much trauma in the first place, and that's why they end up in prison. It's because they have been already victimized in their life, you know, and then that's why they get into drugs and all these things. And obviously I know that, you know, crime has victims, and I would never wish that upon anyone, but I also believe in the power of forgiveness as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely want to connect you to after. She asked me to, and yeah, I'll do that after.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to absorb it all because it's like there's so many emotions along the way and so much craziness. Like, you're resilient.
I think that's where like the adventurous self in me. Like when I was younger, I went on my first trip by myself when I was 18. It's almost like I have this like, I don't want to say fearlessness because I'm really afraid of sharks, but
who isn't?
But and haunted houses and ghosts, but like I just never was scared of things or people or places, and that's why I also saw prison as like going to another country with its own people, its own currency, its own economy, right? So that's why I wasn't afraid.
Yeah, I like it. So now let's talk a little bit. I'm a little bit curious, and to talk about the business because I own a business. I own a real estate company, so I love business. I told you briefly before, I grew up on a family farm. A lot of my life I've been self-employed in one faceted or another, and been in real estate since 2013, like we talked about a little bit. So I find it amazing. I'm going to switch a little bit of perspectives and talk about the business because and you don't have to divulge your secrets or anything, but as a business level, I love the idea of popcorn because I'm guessing at the base of popcorn before it gets gourmet, it's pretty economical to make in theory. In theory. I know through business when you start getting into some of the add-ons like the chocolate, the salt, the caramel, the
cocoa market is crazy right now. It's like chocolate. It's like,
yeah.
But like, as we know, Canada, it's going up everywhere. So
yeah. It's expensive everywhere. So I love the idea of turning something that's pretty economical into gourmet. And I love the idea of how it started from home or even prison. And then, you now talking about, I think you said co-packer, right?
Yeah.
Is that the technical term? I'm not in that. And getting it to market.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even know if I want to start with some of the challenges or some of the things you didn't see. Yeah, like some of the things you didn't see coming. Like just a little bit about the biz. Let's talk about business a little bit.
Yeah. So number one is I love the local owned businesses. And a lot of people might get into or look at a food business and be like, oh, like you want to be in these big stores. And we are getting into the bigger chains now because in popcorn, you need volume to like grow the business, because when you get into these bigger chains, you need to support with like promos. You need to often pay listing fees. So like grocery stores are not in the grocery business. They're in the real estate business. They rent the space on their shelves.
Right.
So there's lots and lots of fees that come along. Demos, like giving out product sampling, distribution costs, right? So there's which is like trucking, getting to the store. If it's like 10 minutes late, you're going to get a charge. So there are a lot of costs when it comes to
scaling is difficult.
Scaling is very, very difficult. And you need to have like a certain velocity, right? Like for us, we can get it on the shelf, but then if you don't get it off the shelf so say you need to have sell 4 units per week, or each store is different, but they want you to sell X number of units per week. They can kick you off anytime.
Right.
So
I want to think about this a little bit because I'm not in this game, right? I'm in the service business. Mm-hmm. Never been in this before. But when you first started, you're basically just trying to get any sales you can, right? When first out the gate, like somebody buys it, this is a win.
Yes.
Right? However, and I don't even know what was your pitch in the beginning to get somebody to buy it?
I was like, hi, my name's Emily O'Brien, and I just got out of prison, and this is my popcorn company.
I love it. And then people are like, They're like, who's this sweet girl that's saying prison? I'm confused, but popcorn sounds good.
Yeah. And I think it also, like, I told the story of what happened, but I made it also important to know that, like, I wasn't playing the victim anymore. You know, like, sure, I didn't organize this trip, and this guy that I was with organized this trip, but, like, moving forward, I wasn't just going to play the victim. And a lot of people want to see accountability, and they want to see, you know, ownership. Mm-hmm. And I think because I had that part of the story, and also the willingness to help, and just putting a really, like, everything that happened, like, if you tell it from the very beginning to the very end, people can relate to it more. Like, it's hard to relate to drug smuggler gets arrested at border to a headline, right? And that's why I was very cautious about when the story was shared, how it was being shared, because you need to go back. And then, like, that's why that article with the Hamilton Spectre is 8 pages long. It's one of the most read articles of the entire year.
Come on.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Well, thanks the journalist. Thanks, Natalie.
Good job, Nat.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's, and people like that I work with, like, police officers now. I've spoken at police conferences, and people that I never thought I'd meet in my life. Like, I met John Tory, like, a year after starting a year after starting the company. So
no shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Now I'm trying to go back. So you're getting it some sales. You're doing it at local events, whatever. Mm-hmm. Who do you remember getting into stores?
Yes.
Because so what, do you remember your first store? Not quite, but okay, getting into stores. How did it's fine.
Definitely one in Hamilton. It might have been the Casual Gourmet in Westdale near my mom's house, or it was the Horn of Plenty in Dundas, Ontario. It was one of those. One of those,
because you're working different things. So who actually put it on the shelf first? Yeah. But so you get into stores, and you had a short shelf life back then. Mm-hmm. So when you get it into a store, do you front it to them like good old days, or do they pay up front? Like how?
You have invoices.
So what's that mean?
So they, like, make a purchase order, mm-hmm. and you give it to them, and they have 30 days to pay the invoice.
They got 30 days to pay you.
I did work with some stores on a consignment model, but then it kind of became too difficult to manage the inventory and all that stuff. But we scaled, and then we started working with distributors who would buy from us, and then the stores that they worked with would pay with a credit card and buy from them, and then they get a percentage.
Right. So when did you jump on with distributors? Was that really early?
It was about a year in. I think about a year in.
About a year in.
No, it was when we got our extended shelf life. So I would say 2020. So a year and a half.
2020.
Yeah. Because I was in prison 2018. Mm-hmm. And then 2019 was like the Savory building in the commercial kitchen. And then when COVID happened, that's when we got the co-packer, extended shelf life, and really started to grow, because with the distributor will only take you on if you meet certain specific criteria that the retailers want. Like, say if you're a store in, like, Sault Ste. Marie or something, and then the product's going to take like 3 days to get up there, then it's losing shelf life by every day. So I grew the business within Hamilton area, even like Waterloo, but people would go through it within like a week or 2 weeks, right? But you can't service those farther destinations because it cuts so quickly into the shelf life.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, like, to get this into consumer hands, I'm guessing the channels are online.
Yeah.
People can buy from you direct.
Yes.
Right? On your website.
Yeah.
And you deliver across Canada.
Across Canada, yes.
Into the States.
Paused right now.
Paused. Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Drama.
We don't even need to get into that.
Yeah.
People can go into stores. Mm-hmm. And so buying from you, or I'm guessing, do you sell directly to stores or only to distributors, or both?
We do both.
Yeah. Both.
So we have our own wholesale portal that people can go on and buy whatever. Then we have our e-commerce, where it's like if you want to buy 5 or 6 bags. That's different than at the wholesale. Mm-hmm. And then our distributor models. So we have 3 distributors.
How did you figure all this out?
Learning, getting connected to people, studying it. It's like by working in it, you learn it, right?
You have to.
You have to, yeah.
What are some of the pain points right now?
For us, well, right now we're going through a packaging change. So it's like, how do you want your product to look on shelf? Some of the other pain points are...
I'm going to try this one.
Oh, yeah. That's chocolate. Always logistics. Logistics are always a huge pain. Just trying to organize trucks and deliveries
To make it cost effective.
And, making sure it goes to the right place and making sure like all the delivery things are proper. Ingredient price cost increases is another pain point. They can change very quickly, and you want to protect obviously the customer. You don't want to like keep raising the prices on the customer, but you also still need to have a viable business.
You have to have profit margin.
Yeah.
Profit margin. I love the peanut butter.
Me too. It's my favorite one.
I don't want to say that yet, but it might be mine too because I love peanut butter. Chocolate peanut butter. So good.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have one of these.
Yeah, you should. You should. You need a little
sugar.
Mm-hmm. So logistics is a big thing now.
Yeah.
It's trying to make everything cost effective.
Yeah, and then just like onboarding some like working with bigger grocery. They're great for scale, but there's a lot of
pressure.
But then a lot of like things that you have to manage within that when you're a small team. It's hard, right? So getting it on the shelf, getting it off the shelf with limited resources is a huge constraint.
So, like you kind of mentioned it, trying to imagine, okay, if I've got a product, if I'm selling all of a sudden frozen pizzas, right? Mm-hmm. And I get whatever chain or whatever to take my frozen pizzas. Fantastic. But like you said, now just because they're on the shelf doesn't mean it's going to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you have to figure out how to get people to buy it.
Mm-hmm. And frozen pizza is harder because if you want it, like for me, I can take this couple products, go to a store, take it out of the bag, and people try it. People like popcorn. It's a lot more complicated to set up a demo in a store for frozen pizza.
Totally.
So I have a couple of friends in the frozen food. My friends, they own Mama Yolanda's Lasagna out of Hamilton, and then also Crofty Ramen. And yeah, it's very challenging. So they have to make all their margin or make all their volume sales on discounts.
Right.
Yeah.
Where which is interesting, at one point for a brief period of time, growing up on a farm, like I told you, my mom's got this OG recipe that we started selling for a brief amount of time, which was a red pepper relish.
Oh, like a jelly?
Not quite.
Oh.
A relish,
What's
but not jelly. Yeah, like a jelly's kind of like, this popcorn's so good. The jelly is almost like a jam, where a relish is like, you've had green pepper relish.
Yeah.
It's more like the minced pepper.
Oh, okay.
So it's not so much, it's sweet because of the red pepper is sweet, but it's not. And like growing up, we did canning and people always loved that. And you never seen a red pepper relish anywhere. So for a brief period of time, I took it to market and was it when I was doing my HR internship? Yeah, at Camiso's in Niagara Falls.
We sell to that store.
Amazing. I imagine you would because this would align with them. And when I demoed the product there, it sold a ton.
Yeah.
But days that it was not demoing, it didn't sell anywhere near as much as that.
Yeah, tasting is believing. That's the power of the demo.
Yeah, demos is amazing. So are you often running demos or like?
Yeah, and then we'll go through phases. Like some chains like Farm Boy, they have an in-house team. So you basically pay them per hour to do that. But they'll do it in like every store on one day. And then other stores have different policies. Like one grocery store has a policy where you have to use the agency that they work with. And you have to like pay to be in there. And so there's even fees that even if you're going yourself,
right,
you have to pay to be in there.
Right.
So
every store is different. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like your business, it's popcorn is maybe at the core a simple idea.
That's it. That's the simplest it gets is the kernel.
But execution of running a profitable business, that's far from simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are obviously your marketing is better than most companies. Because most companies...
that's nice of you. Thank you.
It's nice, but it's also like okay, let me rephrase it. You're really good at marketing because most marketing from most businesses, I think, is subpar. Like if you were in social media, you probably know that. A lot of businesses, even huge corporations, are doing shit posts all the time.
Yeah.
You're creating authentic, genuine content. Like... I don't know how it gets any better. So that definitely, I'm sure, helps move the needle of getting sales. But I'm sure you still have stores that you struggle getting sales for.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So what do you do?
Well, you study the numbers, and then some stores, they just never will sell the same volume of product. But there's a certain store in one city, and we did a demo there. They were just like, there's no point in even investing in demos here because the people just, it's like every person here is over 60, you know what I mean? It's very different market than the other main locations, right? So it's like it comes to a point where you're not going to get delisted. So when you have a listing, you're on a certain number of shelves and a certain number of stores. Your entire listing isn't going to be compromised based off one store. Mm-hmm. As long as you're still doing the numbers you need to do from all of them, then you're good.
Right.
So, because that just wouldn't work.
Yeah. They can't punish you just for that one.
Yeah.
But then like some smaller stores.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to picture the whole gamut of how crazy it is because you got so many moving parts.
And some stores are seasonal. Like you go to like a Foodland in like Keswick or something, and the traffic there is mostly summertime. So you're obviously not going to sell as much popcorn as you do in the summer. Mm-hmm. Or I mean in the winter as you do in the summer. It's also a totally different demographic in the summer.
Right.
So that also, you have to take that into consideration as well.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. It's such a wild one.
I know.
I like how you're able to extend shelf life because that definitely gives you more opportunities because a short shelf life definitely is super challenging. Mm-hmm. Like that would be even crazier.
Yeah, it's not scalable at all. You have to figure out a way to make your shelf life one that distributors will work with. And that means at least 7 months.
At least.
Yeah.
Need some salt.
Yeah.
I'm just trying.
And nitrogen. Like a lot of the chip bags are all nitrogen. They have nitrogen in them as well, right? So
is that like a gas?
Yeah, it's not a poisonous one.
Why?
No, it's called nitrogen flushed. So.
And it goes in the air so that it helps preserve. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. I'm not worried about a little nitrogen, all the things I've had in my life. You see how much pizza I eat? I'm not worried about a little.
I know, me too.
Yeah. This one's excellent.
Thank you.
What other flavors do you have?
I have lemon meringue caramel and double coated caramel. And then we are launching 4 new ones. Mm-hmm. Sorry, 3 new ones this year, but I can't tell you what they are yet.
Can't tell me?
No, but you'll get them first, I promise, to review.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm going to hold you to that. I hope you hold that promise better than it took you a year to get here.
Oh, thank you for that.
I got to bust your chops a little bit.
I know.
I know you can
bust
handle
them all
it.
you want.
I know you can handle it.
Oh, yeah.
So you got 3 savory flavors coming out. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Still on the business line. When a store takes your product on, do they take them all on? Do they take your number one seller? How does it get decided?
It depends. Some of them want all 3, some of them want all 4 to take up more space on the shelf. Some of them just want the top 2. It really depends on the buyer for that store. Mm-hmm. Or some stores might have tried all 4, and only the top 2 or certain flavors sell best. Because some stores can be like so random, like our lemon meringue, like will like sell. It's like a cult flavor, so it's like it'll be like the most popular one at some stores. But then other ones it'll like get some stores that might like have been expired. You know what I mean? Like if we don't do the testing, like it's called driving trial, basically when you have a product and you want people to test it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, sometimes that'll happen. That's basically just trial and error.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm still like, it's such a wild business compared to mine. And it's similar to my girlfriend's, yours, where she's in the manufacturing distribution. So I have a little bit more exposure since we've been together, but I'm just like trying to piece it all together because it's so much different than my business.
Yeah.
What have you seen be some of the big upticks for sales? Has it been like content or
social media, public, a lot of events, public speaking, like when I do event, obviously seasons. And then if it's big groceries, a lot of the time it's promotions and the demos for sure.
The demos.
Yeah.
Can you think of one piece of content or one PR thing or anything that after it happened, it like moved the needle a bit? Do you remember a specific one, or it's just like a combination?
Yeah, when John Tory posted a picture with me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I did something with Vice Media, that was big. And then also Ian Hannah-Mansing from CBC, I was on The National, and that was like an 11-minute segment.
Oh, wow.
And that was like got like over 1 million views on TikTok. And
really?
So things like that.
And then all of a sudden there's more action going on after that.
Yeah.
And you never, well, I guess maybe it was some big things like that, maybe but other things that happen, like I'm sure you've had, just like me with pizza reviews, sometimes I think one's going to really get a lot of views.
And then it's like crickets.
Yeah. And then I've had like my most watched one on Instagram is a pizza review in Welland that got 1 million views on Instagram. And it's just like, it was a normal scoring pizza. Well, normal. It was like an 8 something. It was a good one, but nothing dramatic happened in the review to make it go so crazy. So
for me, that's always the hardest thing to understand. And it's the last one that we had, I don't know, got like 20,000. And the one before that it was just like in a factory. It was like a made in Canada thing. That one got 100,000. I don't know what's that right now, but even the one just about, it was on Family Day. And that one got like double digits in thousands. So
really?
it was me and my mom.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
I have some lighthearted questions I ask everybody.
Okay.
Because I know we're on a time schedule, so I don't want to go over that because you're busy. Is there anything that you want to touch on?
I just think like anyone that's listening to this, whatever life moments happen or life years that happen, like anyone can get through things. And but I really found that helping others after I got through my thing, I obviously was in no position to help someone when I was the one struggling. So, but the moment that you can like help others after you get through it, it really can change their life. And so that's why I try to help people every day that I can, because it doesn't have to be something like with a huge time commitment. It can be a phone call, it can be a text, it can be a connection to a new job for them, or getting them an interview and then they get a job, right? So it's like little things that can help someone get from like the depths of emotional hell or whatever awful situation they're into, somewhere where they feel like they want to live again, because like life is truly a gift.
It is.
Yeah.
And I said it already, but I'm going to say that I'm proud of what you've done. Right. Not that matters anything coming from me, but
yes,
I think
it does.
Does it? I don't know.
Review Joe.
I'm just some random guy from Wainfleet that we're running around Welland doing pizza today. But I think that it's amazing what you're doing. I think that when people can find a way to inspire other people, I think that's one of the best gifts you can give people. So I really applaud you for that. I think it's amazing that you do it. I told you, my one friend reached out just from me doing a story and having that impact. I think that's amazing. It's very heartwarming that you're doing something good. You're making a living. You're fighting the battles that we all fight. We've had all mostly good talks here. I know that just like anyone else, you have your daily challenges with whatever it is, but you're fighting every day. And I admire that people that do that, because a lot of people get kicked down and they have such a hard time coming back. And it's amazing to see.
And it also keeps me, on that path too of when bad things happen, it's like doing this kind of stuff, coming to fucking Welland, hanging out with you a year late, just makes me keep staying on the path that I'm supposed to be on too. So it's like, it helps me in ways as well.
I love it. And I'm going to offer to you that I'm more than happy to help any way I can. I don't know how I ever can or not, but I'm a resource here because I really appreciate it. So that could be as much as maybe introducing you to anybody that maybe could help, or if you ever seen anything, if there's any advice I can give you, but I'm definitely a resource out here for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
If people want to find you.
Yes.
Yes.
Comebacksnacks.com for our website. And then on social media, it's at comebacksnacks. And my personal one is at emz.o'brien.
Yes, because you rock a business account and a personal one.
Yes, exactly.
When got a little popcorn caught in my throat there.
I know, you better be careful.
It's sad when that happens, when rehabilitation is supposed to be a thing and there's all these positive actions out there for it, but then there's some people or institutions that will shut you down based on that. I think it's really unfortunate. I'm not saying all criminals are good, but they're definitely not all bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to do these last ones.
Rapid fire?
Yeah, some rapid fire fun ones.
All right.
Did I miss anything? No, we're good.
I like you. I take notes like you. I love handwriting. I love writing everything.
Yeah?
I can't like, I don't remember it if I write it down, like unless I'm on the go and I don't have it, but I personally like to write.
Handwrite.
Yeah.
These ones are pre-typed because I asked everyone.
Okay.
This is hilarious. I didn't even realize. My first question will hit home a little bit more.
Okay, perfect.
If you were on death row, what would your last meal be? I ask everybody that question.
This is great. Bacon wrapped scallops.
Let's go. What else?
Cordon bleu. I don't know, Swiss chalet. I love Swiss chalet.
Yeah? I love the dipping sauce.
Yeah.
I drink that stuff.
Yeah.
For dessert?
For dessert, probably that.
Probably this, guaranteed.
Yeah. Except I won't be coming back to Earth on death row.
No. Peanut butter, chocolate caramel for dessert. What else? Would you have a drink? Would you have
Fireball whiskey?
Fireball whiskey? Straight up?
Straight up.
On the rocks or straight up?
Straight up.
Let's go. Little cinnamon whiskey. Okay. I love it. What do you like on your pizza?
Double pepperoni, extra cheese, but the pepperoni cups.
I like it. That's a solid one. So our first one, but we didn't have the cup and jar.
Okay.
What's your favorite pizzeria?
Blondie's.
I thought you were going to say My Pie.
No, My Pie's not my favorite because I don't go back over and over. Like if I'm going to go somewhere, like there's a place that I'll always go if I'm hungry. Whereas My Pie, it's more of a decadent thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
the owner of My Pie has sat in that very chair right there
Oh,
and did a podcast.
perfect.
Solar, great guy.
well, don't put my Pie piece in there.
What? It's just you just picked your more go-to one, and you said that you still like that. Well, we're Solar. We were talking about My Pie before here.
Oh,
She
yeah,
was
that's
asking me
true.
what I thought about it.
Yeah.
It got mentioned, and it's great pizza. It doesn't have
It
to be
is. It's
number
so
one
good.
for
It's
everyone.
so good.
It is. It's great. Favorite kind or era of music?
Classic hip hop. So 90s.
Favorite rapper? Rappers. Some of them. Don't even have to pick favorite.
You know, like Tupac, Biggie, Big L, Exhibit.
Yeah, I love it. Ice Cube. Well, that's what I had
Ice
when he
Cube.
came in. Old school hip hop.
Jedi
that's my
Mind
jam.
Tricks, MOP, Busta Rhymes, Cameron.
The good stuff.
The good stuff.
Is that what they listen to on the inside?
Oh, Mob Deep. I had the Mob Deep CD when I was in there. Good one.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
East Coast. Yeah, nice.
But I also like 90s classic rock, like 90s soft rock. So, you know, it's hard to say. And Frank Sinatra. Can't
Same.
choose. Yeah.
Same. Frank Sinatra's a legend.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you like a mix. What about country? Is that in there?
Yes and no.
I
Keith
feel
Urban, maybe. But it comes in waves.
I feel that. I'm from Waynfleet and I don't love all country music, but I do like some.
There you go.
What is, this one's a little less lighthearted. This is a little more, what's heavy-hearted? What's the meaning of life?
Freedom. And for me, freedom is being able to be myself.
It's amazing. I love that. That's a good one to ask different people.
Yeah.
If you could travel anywhere, where would you go?
Well, I really want to go to the Canary Islands. So that's on
That's
my wish
Spain,
list.
isn't it?
Yes.
My dad's was from Spain, but he's from mainland. But
Okay.
so I haven't been to Canary, but it's on the list too.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice you can give anyone.
I would say mistakes are universal, but so are comebacks. I mean, I feel like I say this all the time. Make a comeback. You just got to put in the work.
I love it.
It's not a handout.
I love it. Something that's hard to get over is that we're going to go through hard times no matter what. Mm-hmm. So get good at them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we both have them ahead of us. Life's great, but
Yeah.
we're going to hit some challenges.
Even like this last weekend, I was like in Vancouver and I was like, it was so dark and rainy and I was like super depressed. And I was like, oh my God, like I hate it. Like you're going to have different days, right? You can't just be like all hunky dory, but as long as you have those tools now to kind of go through it and, you know, I'm not going to go smashing a 40,
Yeah. Good
getting an
call.
8-ball,
Good call.
you know, so.
Good call. I love it. Who played a big role in who you are today?
My family, absolutely, because they've been there since day one, whether I liked it or not. So
it's amazing. It's amazing. What do you want to be remembered for?
Never giving up.
I love it. Have you ever seen that picture of the frog getting eaten by the bird, but the thing is never give up, and he's holding his neck so the bird can't swallow him because he's holding the neck while his head's going
no,
in?
I haven't.
I'll send it to you after.
Okay, awesome.
What would you do if you won $50 million?
Start my comeback capital fund.
I love it. Would you focus more on females?
No, males? Anyone. Yeah.
Just helping out.
Yeah, people that have the skills, the tenacity, the hustle to build a really good business.
I'm going to touch on that real quick. We still have a little bit of time. We're almost done. But some of the smartest, ambitious people I've met are ones that have gotten in trouble. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that I find that's unfortunate, that people get painted with the brush of being bad. Mm-hmm. But some of the best people have gotten in trouble and they just didn't have their path corrected yet. And then when they're on the up and up, they can take the skill sets that they learned before and apply them. And they're far more advanced than people that had never made some of the same mistakes and seen some of the world that some people don't even know exist.
Yes.
So.
Exactly.
Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Those eyes, the eyes coming, the comeback eyes see better than eyes that have never been there before. Would you rather live in the city or the country?
Like, I don't know. Because it depends on my mood.
I feel ya.
Probably the city.
Feel ya.
Probably the city because I can go to the country on vacation or I can go to the country on the weekend. So I'd rather live, where I'm close to everything that I need to do.
I feel ya.
Yeah.
Only a few left here.
All right.
I'm going to answer this one myself to help maybe clarify it a bit before. But what is a life hack that you do? Life hack or hacks? One of mine is to save time. I brush my teeth in the shower.
Okay.
Do you have
one of mine is to use the heat in my car to dry my hair on the way to places. So still professional blow dry,
but it gets it done.
Yeah.
I love that. Any others that come to mind? That's a good one though. That's the first time I've heard that one.
That's one of my favorite ones. I mean,
I love that. Okay, that's a good one. 3 left. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Wow. That's a classic.
Yeah. And The Room by Tommy Wiseau. One of the worst movies ever made.
Fear and Loathing. I remember the briefcase full of all the drugs.
Yeah.
And the mustache and the sunglasses. What's The Room?
The Room is... so there was a movie made with Seth Rogen, and I think it was James Franco. But it was called The Disaster Artist, and it was based off this movie that was made. And the movie that was made was called The Room by Tommy Wiseau. It's literally known all over LA or all around the world as the worst movie in the entire world. And that's why it's so funny.
And you like it.
It's because it's so funny because it's so bad.
That I feel like. Have you ever seen Donnie Darko?
Yes.
I don't like that movie.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
You like that one?
No, I don't like it.
Okay. Yeah. Because
freaks me out.
It's got this huge cult following. It's so popular. And I remember watching it. I don't even remember what it's about now. I'm being like, this is brutal.
Yes. And it kind of gives you nightmares.
Yeah, it's got a bunny in it or something.
Yeah.
But The Room is so bad it's good.
Yes. Yes.
When should I watch it? How should I
during the day? But you have to read about it first and just why it's just so ridiculously bad. The acting's bad, the scenes are, but that's what makes it also so iconic, and that he always fucking believed in himself. But even though so now it's also known as the best worst movie ever made.
The best worst.
Yeah, yeah.
Hilarious. Okay, this one. What makes a pizza pizza? Because I've had
dough,
this
sauce, cheese, or toppings, and who's eating it?
But I just, even to clarify a pizza, because is it the crust that makes a pizza? Is it the sauce? Is it the cheese?
I think it's everything, all those elements together.
So what if you put tomato sauce and cheese on a piece of bread? Mm-hmm. Is that pizza?
Well, it's not in the oven.
After you put it in the oven.
Yeah, there's like Roma pizza that's like that.
I see. It's funny because like some people tell me like Chicago pizza is not pizza, or a flatbread's not pizza because it's not dough. I've had people say all kinds of stuff.
For me, it's like the sauce and the cheese. Like it's like the feeling of eating a piece and the taste of those different toppings and flavors and food groups together.
Yeah, fair. Last question.
All right.
What do you do for exercise?
I do everything. I'll play sports. I'll walk my dogs. I'll go for hikes. I will go to a strength class. I'll go to a hot Pilates class.
Do you have a routine, or how do you manage it?
Yeah, I try to do like 3 different kinds of workouts a week plus walk my dog. So, but I always switch it up. Like I'm a member on this app called ClassPass, and you can basically join like gyms that are listed up to it and join any class in those. So you can, like one time I did like a yoga class, and it was like in the air, like it was aerial yoga.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's the things that I love and need to do, like the strength training, the weight training, plus like different fun workouts, but they're actually like a cool thing to do.
I like it. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
And you do it regularly, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Perfect.
I think we nailed it.
All
On
right.
time. I think we covered all the good stuff. You are an inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
I've said a lot of good things. I mean them all. It's amazing. I'm glad that we've met now.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to being part of the journey.
Yeah.
And
I made it. Better late than never.
And I'm looking forward because we both know that your growth is exponential from here, and to see what directions you go in. You've got my support, whatever that means with anything moving forward.
You can check on the Sobeys for me.
Yeah. Anytime I see your product on the shelf, did you call it merchandise it? So let's just clean it up. Yeah. And then if I see it's low, like today, I tell them, get it in here.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
You're the best.
I'm on it.
Oh my God, I'll send you popcorn all the time. It's a gift.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm happy.
Perfect.
If you ever hear...
If you're there. I mean, I'm not going to send you on a mission.
No, but if I'm there. And if you ever know of anybody buying or selling houses in Niagara, that's how I
all right. Well, maybe I'll be buying
bills.
one day. There you go.
Well, you're always welcome to Niagara. That's for sure.
Perfect.
And yeah, last thing, again, we'll just say it again in case where everybody can find you.
Yes. So online, comebacksnacks.com, and then on Instagram at comebacksnacks. And then my personal Instagram is at EMZ. So EMZ.O'Brien, Obrien.
Amazing.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
Nailed it.